These are the most frightening scenes never labeled horror. Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 scariest scenes from non-horror films. For this list, we're looking at the most terrifying, disturbing, and chilling scenes from movies outside of the horror genre. Number 20, Park Da-sung's Ghost, Parasite.
다송이가 좀 아프다고 해야 되나? 트라우마 치료, 미술 치료 이런 것도 받고 있어.
Director Bong Joon-ho has described his black comedy thriller as a ghost story of sorts, and a pervasive sense of uncertainty runs through the film.
그래서 요 앞에 앉아서 다송이가 케이크를 막 먹다가
The ghost in question once appeared before young Park Da-sung in a doorway leading into the basement. The experience left Da-sung traumatized, but the explanation behind this encounter is creepier than anything supernatural. The ghost is really the former housekeeper's husband, Gun-se, who's been hiding from loan sharks in the house's secret bunker for years. When Gun-se emerges again, his presence causes Da-sung to suffer another seizure before all hell breaks loose. Number 19. His fangs are sharp, Jumanji. Many family films have been considered unsuitable and disturbing for children, but none flows like a horror movie for kids quite like Jumanji.
His fangs are sharp. He likes your taste. Your party better move post-haste.
The intense 90s adventure classic follows Robin Williams as a man who gets sucked into a sadistic board game. Literally. In a world where creatures come to life with every roll of the dice, most memorable is when the children land on the wrong spot and are suddenly attacked by a lion. Featuring one of the game's many man-eating creatures, this scene had us checking our closets for years to come. Number 18. Beware the Wheelers, Return to Oz. L. Frank Baum's universe is no stranger to disturbing imagery geared towards children.
Beware the Wheelers.
What's a wheeler?
This fantasy adventure follows Dorothy as she finds her way back to Oz, only to find it in tatters.
Come here, chicken!
In one part of the deserted land, Dorothy runs into the Wheelers, characters who have wheels for limbs and carry creepy masks reminiscent of the Wicked Witch's flying monkeys. As if the cabinets of disembodied heads the princess keeps and all of Dorothy's friends being turned to stone wasn't enough, 80s kids also know to beware the Wheelers because of this flick. Number 17, Night on Bald Mountain, Fantasia.
The first is A Night on Bald Mountain.
Many grew up thinking this experimental and one-of-a-kind animated classic was for kids, and although some parts are curiously strange, confirmation that this wasn't your typical Disney fare came with its final sequence. Animators took the already frightening Mussorgsky composition Night on Bald Mountain and invented even more terrifying imagery to put behind it. We follow the devil Chernobog as he summons demons, ghosts, and witches in an orgy of madness and celebration. Although the classical music and animation are fascinating and have captivated audiences for the better part of a century, the subject matter will always be the stuff of nightmares. Number 16, Sleep on It, The Godfather. As one of the most celebrated crime thrillers of all time, The Godfather has its fair share of unnerving scenes.
They are $600,000 on 4 hooks. I'll bet Russian Tsars never paid that kind of dough for a single horse.
This is in no small part thanks to Vito Corleone's manner of taking care of business.
Just tell him he should ask me anything else. But this is one favor I can't give him.
When studio head Jack Waltz refuses to give Vito's godson, singer Johnny Fontaine, a shot at the big time, the crime family takes their anger out on Waltz's prized stallion. He wakes up to find his sheets soaked in blood and a surprise inside. This unforgettable and shocking scene builds up to an unexpected climax we won't soon forget, and neither will poor Jack. Number 15, The Witching Hour, The Wizard of Oz. For all the magic and musical glee in this timeless classic, there are just as many bizarre and startling moments.
I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog, too.
With her ghastly visage and shrill voice, the Wicked Witch is one of the 20th century's most memorable villains. Her Her entrances were as unexpected as they were terrifying, whether in Munchkinland or inside her crystal ball.
Now fly! Fly!
It's difficult to pick just one scary scene, but our childhood nightmares include her commanding her army of flying monkeys and setting poor Scarecrow on fire. Even her death scene is somehow terrifying, with her body melting and her shrieks filling the castle.
Look out! I'm going!
Number 14, Doom and Gloom. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? We move from one megalomaniacal villain to another as we visit Roger Rabbit's fearsome foe.
5,000 gallons of heated dip pumped at enormous velocity through a pressurized water cannon.
A sworn enemy of all tunes, Judge Doom sadistically hunts and disposes of them using his dreaded dip. But it's in the film's finale that he does his worst. After being flattened into a pancake by a steamroller, Doom eerily rises to life, inflating himself until, well, this.
Remember me, Eddie?
A helium-fueled half-man, half-tune, his grotesque transformation turns an already menacing character into an outstanding screen oddity.
I talk! Just wait!
Those burning red eyes, that high squeaky voice. Doom is truly nightmare fuel. Number 13, Becoming a Jackass, Pinocchio. Of Disney's many traumatizing scenes, none is scarier than Pinocchio's Pleasure Island trip.
Oh boy, a scrap! Come on, let's go in and poke somebody in the nose.
Newly transformed into a real boy, Pinocchio finds all sorts of amusement. But there is a downside. Delinquents on the island eventually turn into donkeys and are used for back-breaking labor.
What's he think I look like? A jackass?
You sure do.
Who expected a charming tale about a wooden boy to devolve into child slavery and human trafficking? Pinocchio escapes, but his good friend Lampwick isn't so lucky.
Mama!
A morality tale for the ages, this story scared an infinite number of kids straight with Lampwick's panicked meltdown. Number 12, Pale Man, Pan's Labyrinth. A fantasy drama about a child's forays into a mythical world. Sounds fun, right? Well, think again.
Veréis un lujoso banquete. No comáis ni bebáis nada. Absolutamente nada.
Set during the Spanish Civil War, Guillermo del Toro's 2006 film features a slew of magical creatures, but they're more horrifying than enchanting. And scariest of all is the Pale Man. Before our heroine Ophelia encounters him, she's given one rule: don't eat anything from his table. Well, we all knew what was going to happen next. But that didn't make the Pale Man's pursuit of Ophelia any less terrifying. Keep in mind, this emaciated monster eats children. Doug Jones's performance as the Pale Man is as memorable as it is chilling. Number 11, a nightmare scenario, Trainspotting. Danny Boyle's black comedy crime flick horrified audiences when it showed a drug addict's infant daughter dying of neglect. However, Renton's subsequent nightmare while going through withdrawal is what really left its mark on horror history. In a soul-wrenching scene, the baby's deformed and bloated corpse appears, crawling on the ceiling and performing an exorcist-like head spin, all set to a pulsating techno beat. Given the baby's tragic demise, it's a serious gut punch. Added to the gross-out visuals, it's a nightmare not easily forgotten. Number 10. How about another joke, Murray? Joker. Heath Ledger's Joker chilled us to the bone with his stories about his scars.
He sticks the blade in my mouth. Let's put a smile on that face.
But we had to give this spot to Joaquin Phoenix's Arthur Fleck, specifically his appearance on Live with Murray Franklin opposite Robert De Niro.
This is exactly how I imagined it.
Well, that makes one of us.
The talk show host sees an opportunity to score a few more laughs at Arthur's expense. But once his guest starts telling some of his quote-unquote jokes, Murray realizes just how unstable Fleck is.
It's been a rough few weeks, Murray. Ever since I killed those 3 Wall Street guys.
Because we've already seen Arthur commit one murder, the suspense is palpable. And sure enough, he has prepared one last joke.
How about another joke, Murray?
No, I think we've had enough of your jokes.
What do you get
I don't think so.
when you cross a mentally ill loner with a society that abandons him and treats him like trash?
Call the police.
The building tension, gritty realism, and sense of panic amount to a downright disturbing sequence. Number 9. Large Marge, Pee-wee's Big Adventure. How can a film with such childish glee and comedy scare the pants off people?
We're losing valuable time. Set up a dragnet, comb the whole area. Hurry!
When Pee-wee goes cross-country to find his stolen bicycle, he meets many bizarre characters, but none as strange as Large Marge.
I saw the worst accident I ever seen.
When the trucker picks him up on the highway, she decides to casually share a story about a violent accident she witnessed. With Pee-wee sensing that something is off, Marge gives us a jump scare for the ages.
From the twisted, burning wreck, it looked like this.
Although this scene seemed to come out of nowhere, we would later learn to love it as a Tim Burton signature.
Be sure and tell them Large Marge sent ya.
Number 8. Coin Toss, No Country for Old Men. Javier Bardem picked up an Oscar for his performance as hitman Anton Chigurh, and it's easy to see why just from this movie's famous coin toss scene.
What business is it of yours? Where I'm from? Friendo.
After killing a sheriff and a man whose car he wanted, the hitman pulls into a gas station. Given the preceding events, we know from the get-go that the gas station owner is in trouble.
You know what date is on this coin?
No.
1958. It's been traveling 22 years to get here. And now it's here. And it's either heads or tails.
But the suspense is dialed up to a gazillion when Anton tosses a coin and demands the old man call it. We know what's riding on it, but Anton's prospective victim can't be sure, which just increases the tension.
I need to know what I stand to win.
Everything.
Number 7. Riders as Black as Night, The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. Frodo and the Fellowship face many visually stunning challenges on their quest to destroy the One Ring. Yet it's their blood-curdling encounters with the Nazgul that are among the most notable. We were ready to be scared after the scene in which a Black Rider searches for Frodo by the roadside, but nothing quite prepared us for their attack at Weathertop, which left the hobbits and audiences quaking. When Frodo puts on the One Ring to escape, we learn they're even more frightening underneath their dark cloaks. Number 6. A Dream at Winky's, Mulholland Drive. David Lynch is the king of metaphor and surrealism.
This Winky's.
Okay. Why this Winky's?
He also knows how to scare us. In a film about Hollywood making dreams come true, Lynch is sure to remind us that some of these dreams can turn to nightmares.
I had a dream about this place.
In one of his most famous disconnected scenes, we listen to a man at a diner describe a terrifying dream he had, the hideous face he encountered, and the awful feeling he still can't shake.
There's a man in back of this place. He's the one who's doing it.
Eerie, like only Lynch can do, the man starts to realize that maybe he can't escape the nightmare he built for himself. Number 5. Tell It to My Heart, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Steven Spielberg and the Indiana Jones franchise are no strangers to thrills and chills. This second installment and prequel finds Indy helping a small Indian village investigate a possible ancient cult for kidnapping their children.
It's a Thuggee ceremony. They're worshipping Kali.
His theory is proven correct when he and his team stumble upon the Thuggee cult, led by the imposing and bloodthirsty high priest Mola Ram. What they find here is a violent ritual filled with smoke, skulls, fiery pits and human sacrifice that left many movie watchers covering their eyes, and all of us knowing that Indy was in big trouble. Number 4, The King of the Dinosaurs, Jurassic Park. The raptors in the kitchen scene certainly had us on edge. But when it comes to intimidating creatures, the Tyrannosaurus Rex is king. With the park's visitors stuck outside the T-Rex enclosure, a simple cup of water becomes more foreboding than anyone could have imagined. The goat leg on the roof of the Jeep wasn't really a good sign either. When the T-Rex finally showed, it shocked a generation of moviegoers with its theater-jolting roar. We all held our breath as Lex and Tim screamed inside the overturned Jeep, and we all froze as T-Rex's breath blew the hat right off Dr. Alan Grant's head. Number 3, shrouded in mystery man, Lost Highway. Though not his most popular work, this David Lynch film features one of his most unsettling scenes. Fred Madison worries he's being stalked after receiving videos filmed inside his home. He's soon approached at a party by a man with a bizarre claim.
We've met before, haven't we?
With an understated, tense delivery, Robert Blake's mystery man sends chills down your spine.
What do you mean you're where right now?
At your house.
His white kabuki makeup was apparently his own idea, but it's arguably his eyes, sans eyebrows, that really sell the scene.
Who are you?
What's more, the performance is made even creepier by his subsequent real-life murder trial. Number 2, Tunnel of Fear, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Designed as a tasty treat for children, filled with moments of delight, this movie has just as many scenes that will scar them.
Hang on, where are we going?
I don't know, but I don't like what's that tunnel up there. Hey, Wonka, I want off!
The greatest scare comes early. Willy Wonka takes his visitors on a boat ride through what looks like the tunnel to hell itself, while delivering a fiery and dark sermon.
There's no earthly way of knowing
He's singing.
which direction we are going.
What even makes a grown man build something like this in the first place? Is it just to scare the hell out of children? An unnerving cross between a fever dream and psychedelic psychosis, this scene stands tall as the movie's most horrific. I will tell you, Wheelers, the Fantasia finale, Christopher Lloyd and Who Framed Roger Rabbit, that freaky Willy Wonka tunnel. These are the things that kept me up at night as a kid. Number 1 is another one that I'm sure has scared the pants and faces off a bunch of children since it was released. So let's look through the honorable mentions and then we'll name the scariest scene in a non-horror movie. Bear Attack, The Revenant. A Slippery Death, X-Men. The Chamberlain Banished, The Dark Crystal. The Steak Knife, The Lobster. What's in the Basement, The Road. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, Face-Melting Terror, Raiders of the Lost Ark. This explosive introduction to Indiana Jones incorporates many genres, from action to romance, suspense to adventure. However, it isn't until the film's conclusion that horror rears its ugly head.
Marion, don't look at it. Shut your eyes, Marion. Don't look at it no matter what happens.
With Indy and his partner captured, the Nazis prepare to open the Ark of the Covenant. Luckily, Indy knows to avert his gaze before the awesome power that's unleashed. Cursed by the spirits of the Ark, the Nazis are roasted in a visually terrifying and effects-driven climax so unpredictable, it's guaranteed to haunt every viewer.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.